once we've gone through just a few preliminaries at the moment, then I'll be handing over first of all to the Commissioner. So if we can just do our usual thing, if I can just take any apologies for absence. I'm not sure if anyone's left.
Paul Jenkins
I
left.
think, yeah, just one. Yes, he did advise us beforehand.
And just to confirm as well, Chair, so the previous apologies still stand. So that's Councillor Mike Introna, Councillor Rob Inglis, and Executive Mayor Andy Abrahams has now left.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest from the panel? No, thank you. So we come now to the item 3, the appointment of Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner, and just handing over first of all to the Commissioner. Shall I have my question on the Commissioner first?
If I could just introduce, Chair, so we've got the item 3, which is the main item on the agenda today, which is the proposed appointment of a Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner. This is a Schedule 1 appointment under paragraph 9 of the 2011 Act. So the Police and Crime Commissioner has given notice of his proposal to appoint a Deputy PCC, and the information is within the pack. The Chair will shortly hand over to the PCC just to explain a bit more about how he envisaged the post, and also just explain why he thinks Angela Condola is the best person to perform the role, basically. So over to you, Chair.
Thank you. The mic isn't on, sorry. We first hand over to the Commissioner to outline his reasons for requiring a deputy. So I think it's first over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you for that, Chair. This is a statement of suitability of Angela Condola to meet the criteria for the role of Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner. As Police and Crime Commissioner for Nottinghamshire, I must discharge a wide range of statutory functions, including the duty to set and deliver a police and crime plan for 2024 to 2029. As a Police and Crime Commissioner, my responsibilities have vastly developed since PCCs were introduced in 2012, and nearly all PCCs have now appointed a Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner to assist them to cover these responsibilities on a day-to-day basis. I therefore wish to appoint a Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner to ensure that important priorities are progressed for Nottinghamshire communities. In particular, I need a Deputy PC to lead my drive to make Nottinghamshire a safer place for women and girls, play a key role in helping me reach more of our diverse communities by improving our engagement with young people, black and minority ethnic communities, people with disabilities and other protected characteristics to improve trust and confidence in policing. I need a PCC, Deputy PCC to lead on regional collaboration with the East Midlands Mayor to help maximise investment and partnership working in Nottinghamshire that relates to prevention and tackling the causes of crime. And of course to deputise for myself at meetings and events to ensure the expanding demands on my time can be met. I have set a role description for the Deputy PCC to provide clarity of roles and responsibilities between myself as PCC, the Deputy PC and senior roles within the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner. See Annex A. I believe Angela Condola is suitable for the role described at Annex A because she has relevant skills and experience set out in her supporting CV, which has been submitted separately to the panel. Angela has over 25 years experience of working with individuals on preventing and tackling violence against women and girls, including supporting many women and young girls with honour-based violence, championing and working with various women's organisations such as the Women's Centre, POW, Jericho Project, and to support women against violence and with refugees. She has previously worked with a national organisation, the Southall Sisters, and she will continue to work with the most vulnerable communities around mental health, substance misuse, offending, homelessness and domestic violence, leading and delivering on a wide range of contracts for multiple complex needs, independent living support services, employment, housing, welfare rights, advocacy and culturally appropriate services, working with a diverse range of communities and continuing to sustain trusted working relationships There will also be collaborative working both in the third sector and mainstream services for the engaging with established and new community organisations, raising awareness and championing severe multiple disadvantage. This service is delivered with Nottinghamshire Healthcare Trust, NHS Trust, Probation, Social Services, POW, Juno Women's Aid and Al Haraya. Given these skills and experience, the Police and Crime Panel is asked to support the appointment of Angela Condola as the Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner for Nottinghamshire. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. If I may start and just ask for a few comments from your good self. At our last meeting, obviously, you were asked if you could actually remove that item from our agenda, as there were certain areas of checks and balances and due diligence that you wish to undertake. I wonder if you're able to perhaps give the panel one or two examples of how you satisfied yourself to move forward with the appointment.
I think, firstly, what's really important is that the role of Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner is equally as important as my role, and it's really important that the person who fulfills that role has been through a system of due diligence, really to make sure that that person is the right person, and that their experience is correct for the role and the responsibilities that I want them to fulfill. That has been done. Angela has 25 years experience in the community, and in terms of the due diligence checks, I believe and I feel and I'm confident that those checks are correct, and she more than fits the criteria to be my Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner.
Any comments from any on the panel? Oh, sorry. Councillor.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I'm actually, I have to say, I'm against the role of Deputy Police Crime Commissioner. It's nothing against yourself, Angela. I'll be the same to any candidate in the position, and if it being Commissioner Henry sat in your position and like yourself, Commissioner, the money that we're spending on the role, and I know it's pro rata at the minute, but there's nothing I can see that say it wouldn't go up to full time. I believe it could be actually better spent in the community, especially on the priority you just outlined, especially with tackling violence against women and girls. I think that's a huge issue we have in Nottinghamshire, and obviously been through various workshops here at the County Council to see what work's been done in the community. So myself, I'm concerned because when I've looked at other authorities where a deputy has been brought in, that's mainly because of increased responsibilities such as taking over fire authorities. And so that, I get that, why a deputy would be needed at that point there, but that's not what I'm seeing here, and I don't remember seeing that in the manifesto or made clear that would be the case when the election will take place in May. So just place the record that I will be voting against today, but I just wanted to put that up to record that wasn't against for yourself as per se, it's just about the role overall. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor, thank you.
Thank you. I want to support the fact that there's going to be a Deputy Commissioner. I remember the meeting before the last election, or the election. The previous Commissioner had said she was considering a post of this nature. But I'd also like to speak on the portfolio that role is going to have. Tackling an area where of violence against 50% of the population, I think, is critical to the work of the Police Commission. And I've known Angela for a long time, having worked in homelessness, and I remember her work, and I can think of no one more suitable for this role than Angela. I will be supporting both the role and Angela in the post, and I'm sure that it will help women and girls in this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments at the moment? Oh, thank you, Councillor.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I can concur with my colleague here, Councillor Wheeler, and I'm sure Councillor Introna, if he had made the meeting, he would have been. My concern is the value for money of the post of Deputy Police Crime Commissioner, and in general, in past panel meetings, you've alluded to that, Councillor Taylor, but we never went forward with it. With reference to the job, and it's value for money, and across the country, different councils have taken various approaches with this. And I want to know what the main benefits of the role are and what value you would add. There's nothing against you personally, it's against that position. I just don't think we get value for money. The taxpayers' money, it could be put somewhere else. Okay, as we discussed earlier on in the meeting about our priorities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on that? Thank you, Councillor Woodings. And
Just to reiterate Councillor Taylor's point, the previous Police and Crime Commissioner didn't receive any dissuasion when she was mulling the idea of appointing a deputy back in January of this year before the end of her term of office. So I do support the idea of having a Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner role, because the previous Police and Crime Commissioner admitted to this panel that she was struggling to cover all of the meetings and all of the responsibilities that were part of her duties. So I just wanted to make sure that we emphasise that point, which obviously our current Police and Crime Commissioner wouldn't have been aware of that.
thank you, Councillor Woodings. Councillor Wilmot, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm aware of the background of this lady, and if she does the work that is before, if she does the work that she's been doing over the past few years, it will be advantageous to this authority and to the Commissioner's office. It's a controversial decision. Other councils, some councils have assistants and some others don't. But as we're looking very much at future reports and scrutinise them and watching with interest of your reports on what you actually do in the next few months. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Then I have one for the Commissioner, if I may. Commissioner, you will be aware that the panel have received and considered an open letter of support for this appointment, referenced from a number of very eminent local community members. In contrast, you'll also be aware that there have been letters sent from the various members of the public that don't, that are of sensitive nature, let me put it that way, which we couldn't reveal in this forum. But you will have seen and heard of them, and I just wonder what your response should be.
As I say, the due diligence checks have been done on Angela, and I'm more than satisfied that those checks are completed, accurate, and I'm happy to go ahead with nominating Angela Condola as my Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner.
Are people content with that question and answer and content to carry on? Thank you. Angela, welcome. Had the opportunity to say hello to you outside, and I'm sorry that part of it has been going through a process that we have to go through. If I may start by a question to you. I don't know if they've shown you how to operate the microphone system, perhaps. Yeah, you're okay. Thank you. If I could ask you, first of all, what do you see as the main challenges and opportunities in the role of a Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner?
There are challenges and opportunities of this perspective role. Sorry, apologies. There are challenges and opportunities of this perspective role wherever it's performed, but particularly in Nottingham. The Deputy PCC role is a hybrid of the PCC role with its range of functions and powers and those specific to Notts. So if it needs to be a clear role, delegated responsibilities, it will have to know clearly what to do on a day-to-day basis. And so to avoid any confusion with the OPCC office, with the force, the partners and service providers and the public. But from the opportunities perspective, you know, the role will allow more duties to be undertaken on behalf of the PCC, specifically in the areas set by the PCC, which will allow defined priorities to be progressed for the benefits of Nottingham and Nottinghamshire communities. Another challenge we have in this Nottinghamshire is that the police are in special measures at the moment, and that is the trust and confidence in the police and the criminal justice and agencies, which is low in Notts, but nationally it's low as well. We do have some financial constraints with Notts and City Council position of short-term government funding, which is coming to an end for the PCC and the policing and some of the crime and interventions and initiatives. But a new Labour PCC aligned with a new Labour government, so expect aligned priorities, policies, legislations, and hopefully supporting funding in the areas for the new PCC's needs. Also, the OPCC team, there'll be arrangements of practices and changes that we'll be having because we've got a new chief executive position.
Thank you. Would you like to ask the second question? Thank you. Councillor Woodings.
That's better. Yes, I just wanted to ask. Obviously, this new role involves taking account of the needs of diverse and hard-to-reach communities. Can you provide us with examples that demonstrate your ability to engage with a range of groups and provide tangible results?
First of all, the communities are not hard to reach. They've been easy to ignore. And every community is happy to engage, but needs a cultural, competent understanding of their needs. And I've been engaging with diverse communities for over 25 years, and I've built a trusting relationship which takes many years to build. And as a councillor, I've connected with new emerging communities like the Roma-Romanian communities, the Gambian community, the Afro Corner Knots, and the work I've supported the new groups with is through my ward, and I continue to have regular contact. Supporting some communities by signposting them to other services and to get them support with extra funding or capacity building for their organisations, because quite a few of them are very small and they don't have the resources. The tangible results and outcomes of the robust is communication, engagement, delivering activities and providing some short-term sustainability due to the lack of funding available currently with the position of the councils, but seeking new funding, which is external funding, and providing them that support for it to go to the relevant organisations. I've developed community cohesion with the partner organisations, even with the new ones I've had contact with. And most importantly is having that trusting relationship with communities so I can discuss, sensitive issues like violence against women and girls, substance issues, all the taboo subjects that nobody can just walk in and discuss with those. And once you've built that trust and that relationship, you can discuss any subject you want.
Councillor Ellis, thank you.
Can only go and handle one of us at a time. Hello, Angela. Can you explain your understanding of the terms operational independence and personal independence?
Operational independence. Apologies.
Sorry.
Operational independence is specific meaning in policing and referred to the Policing Protocol 2023. And that is for the Chief Constable as a Crown servant to be politically impartial, acting without political interference, acting without fear or favour on behalf of all the communities to uphold the law. The PCC is unable to interfere with the operational day-to-day services. And with personal independence, it's about objectivity, impartiality, professionalism in decision-making, the actions and behaviours we take, irrespective of our personal interest, and it's having that balanced view with the task we have ahead of us.
Can I come with a supplementary? And in terms of personal independence, working with for the Commissioner, but independence, how do you balance the independence there?
I've worked in the voluntary sector for such a long time to actually manage that behaviour of having that balanced view. and it's about the subject, and it's what you focus on and what you do right for the subject.
Paul, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. It's only a very brief one. Can you tell us how you will ensure that you're Deputy Commissioner for the whole of the county and not just Nottingham City with you being a City Councillor, please?
In my past role, I have worked with the county side as well, and I am obviously committed to ensure that I cover the whole of Nottinghamshire and not just the city. The whole of Nottinghamshire is priority on this role.
You said that you would visit, or you would have a lot to do with lots of rural areas. I'm from Bassetlaw, and we have a lot of rural areas. I would love to see you visit those. We tried before, it didn't happen. So I really would welcome you to come to see Bassetlaw and all the rural places, because we really need someone to have a face there. We discuss about policing and kindly, as PCC said, the Commissioner, about working with everyone in the whole of the areas. We don't really see many people up there, so we would really welcome you with open arms if you ever wanted to visit, and we need you in face to face to show what you can do. I really support you coming as deputy, and I don't know much about your background. I've never met you before, but what I've heard is very reassuring. So I hope you can come and visit. So, like we say, you know, not just the city, but the rest of Nottinghamshire if you're able.
I've been to Bassetlaw a couple of times already, and I can assure you I'll be visiting the whole of Nottinghamshire. I'm very committed and passionate of the role that I've got here, and I am going to deliver on that role, listen to everyone, and make sure everyone is treated equally.
Thank you, Councillor Wilmot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I say that if the job is done correctly and so forth, you'll be a great asset to the community, within the community. The situation is, how would you handle a situation when the PCC wanted to do a specific, follow a particular course of action, but you felt it was unwise? How would you follow that? And the other question is, at the end of your term of office, how would you know whether you have been a success, and on what criteria should we judge your performance in the role? As I've said, violence against women and girls has been on the increase for some time, and it is a project that needs a lot of help to prioritise, not only helping the people who are doing the violence or getting the violence against them, but also trying to find out what the reason behind it is, and making sure that everybody gets a say in what's going on. But those two questions, you know, if you could answer those, it'd be very much obliged. Thank you.
First of all, if the PCC was taking some action which I was unsure about, in the first instance, I would approach the PCC, raise my concerns, have a conversation, look at the pros and cons, why he wants to take those actions. If I'm still not satisfied, then I'd go and speak to the monitoring officer. Sorry, your second question was?
At the end of your term of office, how would you know whether you've been a success, and on what criteria should we judge your performance in that role?
I would expect you to judge my performance on my job description. And my job description is how has it worked in terms of complementing the PCC and the OPCC in discharging PCC functions and achievement of the police crime plan, and providing resilience to allow the PCC's duties and works to be undertaken. I would expect you to judge me on how I've led successful delivery against the Partnership of Violence Against Women strategy, and how we've improved partnership working, and how we've reduced incidents of violence against women and girls. I would also expect you to judge me on does the PCC and the OPCC now engage with all involved in more diverse communities and in the rural areas as well. And we'd get feedback from the community to see the terms and levels of engagement with the PCC. Do they know his role? Do they know about, obviously, the services we deliver? Do we have trust and confidence in them? So that's how you will check on that bit for me. And also, have we explored and pursued collaborative opportunities with the East Midlands Mayor and the East Midlands Combined County Authority to look at longer term sustainable prevention and intervention, tackling the causes of crime which is caused by, for example, poverty, neglect, low self-esteem, unemployment, homelessness, drugs, and other substance misuse.
Did you want to come back, Councillor? No. Mrs. Harding, then. Thank you.
Good afternoon. What do you believe should be the relationship between the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner and the Police and Crime Panel?
It should be a mutual respect relationship, and it's about supporting each other with your respective roles. It should be about scrutiny and reviewing and check and balance. It's like being a critical friend, where the PCC will come and provide information and get the feedback from yourselves, and it should be a balanced view as well.
Do you want to come back, Mrs. Harding? Mrs. Dolby, thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Can you provide an example that shows your ability to manage change or to inspire colleagues to do things differently? And what was your role in that change process?
I've got an example here. My role in change was to take the lead and make decisions to move to a smaller space and officer space and change the service delivery due to the change of the funding. So the most important task was communication and be open and transparent with the team and let them know exactly what's happening. Managing any form of change can be difficult for some staff when they're in their comfort zone. So it's about denial, anger, and fear and anxiety of change. It is just human nature for some individuals. They don't want change. So it's the whole purpose is of positive change, and it's bringing the team on board and bringing them together. And then it's communicating with the team and explaining the current pros and cons and why the changes need to be made as well. But most importantly, listening to how they feel and then moving away and addressing their concerns and anxieties. And then it's about explaining the services and how they will be better with the change. And it's putting individuals in new roles, and they'll have a new set skill, they'll have further training as well. And the outcomes will be staffing, sustainable employment, it will be expansion of services, improve their skill set, and it is sustainable for the organisation. And I've done that change. That's why I'm explaining it in that way.
Okay.
Do you want to come back?
Please. I'm sure not everybody was on board, so how did you deal with the ones that were not on board? Because
it's looking at what are the barriers there, and it's overcoming those barriers. And you're right, not all of them will be on board at first, but it's identifying what those issues are and those barriers are and overcoming those with them. And you can take people on board. You can get them to take ownership as well, empower them.
Any other questions? Angela, from your own experience, you've got vast experience, what are the key processes and attributes which organisations need to have in place in order to ensure that sustainable improvements are made through performance monitoring?
The key performance and attributes which organisations need is good governance, clear aims and objectives, setting targets and delivering KPIs, working towards milestones of the contract, providing regular monitoring and reports, having service user involvement in service delivery, which is very key and important to make that service a success, delivering their skill sets through further training and empowering them, and applying for further funding going on before the project finishes. And I've done all those things.
Did you want to come back? Any other questions from the floor? Thank you. Well, it's your turn, Angela. We've asked a lot of questions of you. Are there any questions you'd like to put to the panel before I go into what our procedure next needs to be?
I've got no questions to the panel, but as to say, value for money, I've got 25 years experience of delivering, services to the most vulnerable, diverse communities, working in partnership with mainstream services as well, bridging the gap of the fear and the mistrust of mainstream services with communities. So I'm very committed, I'm passionate to deliver these services, and I've worked in a different range of complex issues to help individuals from different diverse communities. So this is why I'm here today, because this is an exciting role which I want to deliver, and I won't be letting anyone down because I will make it a success.
When I first made my statement about value for money, it wasn't about yourself. It was about the post. So as a sitting councillor in the city, we're county councillors, we can feed that experience into the Police Crime Commissioner, and it wouldn't cost anything. Just by coming out to the rural areas, working with the city, we can feed all that experience in without having to have this post. Thank you.
Did you want to come back, Angela?
I just like to say it's great that we've all got this experience and you can feed it back, but we need somebody in a role to do it on a daily basis. There's a lot of work we need to do, especially around violence against women and girls. There's a lot of people suffering out there.
Thank you. Commissioner, is there any comment you'd like to conclude with before I do the formal bit?
No, just to say that I think Angela's put a good case across for herself in terms of her experience and her knowledge of our communities. I know there's an issue with regard to value for money. The role of Police and Crime Commissioner since 2012 has changed exponentially, and I have over 100 requests for meetings to attend. I can't possibly do that as a single person, and I see that value for money is actually how do we reach all of our communities, how do we bring them into the conversation, how do we deliver confidence, that's value for money, and how do we get a richer picture around the policing priorities of our county and city. And it's really important that with the role changing to the demands that it's changed to, that I have the ability not to necessarily be there, but somebody else will pick it up. And it's really important that we have that, sustainability within the team to be able to pick up these roles and also deliver on what is a very, very ambitious policing plan with some very, very challenging subject matters, as we've already discussed in terms of the highlights. Violence against women and girls is a huge subject matter. The government have put a huge mandate on that matter in trying to halve it over the Parliament. So the demand on me, the demand on Angela is going to be huge, and it's going to be really important because budgets are going to be tight. On how do we fund these organisations? How do we support them and make sure that they deliver for the communities of Nottinghamshire? So for me, Angela is the ideal candidate with the ideal experience. And obviously I really, really support that. And that's why I've put her forward to be my Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner. That being said, just to say that I really value the opinion of the panel, whether it's for or it's against. It's important that that is said. So I respect that. And obviously I welcome your feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. The panel will now be invited to exclude the press and public for the remainder of the meeting on the grounds that discussions are likely to involve disclosure of exempt information described in Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, and the public interest in maintaining the exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing it. Can I propose that from the chair, please? Seconded by Councillor Ellis. Any opposition? No. Thank you. The motion is carried. The panel will now make its decision on the Commissioner's proposed candidate in terms of supporting